You could be losing gains in the gym because you're not eating enough protein, or you're eating protein at the wrong time, or you're not even eating the right type of protein. The World Health Organization suggests eating 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. But you'll hear a lot of the fitness community saying to eat way more than that. They'll say to eat 0.8, to eat 1, to eat 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And it turns out the fitness community is right. Recent studies have shown that the amount of protein the World Health Organization is suggesting is wrong. Oh, who knew? The World Health Organization's wrong. Now the question is, how much protein do you actually need? Now that depends on whether you're bulking or cutting. When bulking, you only need 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So let's take the average male, let's say 180 pounds. That means that they would need anywhere from 125 grams to 180 grams of protein per day. Now when you're cutting, you actually need to eat more protein. Now the reason that is because when you're in a cut, you're in a calorie deficit. And so your body wants to eat its own muscle in order to give your body energy. Now of course the goal with cutting is to make sure your body eats its fat and not its muscle. And in order to keep it from eating its muscle, you have to eat a lot of protein. And you have to be weight training to tell your body you want it to keep its muscle. Now I would suggest anywhere from 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Now as you can see, with both cutting and bulking, the 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight rule still seems to work. Now there is a little bit of confusion here, because someone who's obese or really large probably weighs a lot more and probably doesn't need all of that extra protein. So if you're someone who has a lot of body fat on them, I would suggest doing 1 gram of protein for every centimeter in height you have. Now we know how much protein we should be eating, but does it matter how much protein we're eating per meal? Now according to some old studies, our bodies can actually only use about 20 to 25 grams of protein per meal. But that was actually proven wrong in more recent studies that showed that our bodies can take up to 50 to 55 grams of protein per meal. And so it's actually most optimal to space out your protein throughout the day in at least 3 different meals, although doing 4 or 5 meals might be slightly more beneficial. Now we've discussed how much protein you should have and how many times you should eat protein per day. But it gets even more complicated because not all proteins can be fully used by the body. Now studies would show that the most usable protein for our bodies comes from either dairy or meat, and that most plant proteins are actually not very usable for the body. Now, a lot of people will tell you that you need to eat protein within 30 minutes of doing a workout, but is that actually true? Well, studies have shown that's actually not true, and that it's just as effective to eat protein within 4 hours of doing your workout. Now, actually, an interesting study has shown that it's actually very beneficial for the body if you eat protein before you go to sleep. The reason that is because the body does the majority of muscle repair when it's sleeping. And so if you have that extra boost in protein before you go to bed, then your body will be able to repair your body more efficiently.